Wow, will have been 7-8.
Because of that, I went for every other competition.
Imbo ibita alaba. Imbo kinji ati. Ala ti wa. No that ball around kan high leg wa. Finish it. That ball is there. Yeah, just thank God. No boy. Let's go. Go and meet him, okay? You know, that's good, that's good. This 7 no. This should be like 7-4.
For the second man,
Must
the quarterfinal is 21.10. Early at this year, Peter Picard and Nelson
at the fight against the jumper. Small length.
beyond the Olympic time.
At the fight small jumper. Wow, give
They
up.
are also from 29.77 meters, which is far beyond the Olympic.
Make the waka, make we no talk too much.
Okay, no? I dey feel you, okay?
Action.
I dey feel you. You go wrong. Boy go wrong. Boy go wrong. Come on, what can I like? I love you for that. Boy go wrong. Hi. Don't pull. Arm strength. Don't pull. Sorry. Okay. My boss. Long jump going on. Pull. Oh, day. No jump. Take a run up now. Why no jump? This first movement going on. Shortly I will move into discus. And meanwhile, long jump is going on now. Where is that? The long jump going on. Long jump final. 709 outside Gospel from Delta State. They are worshiping. Shortly, I will move into this course. Hey, apa? Ada. $755. Woo! $755. Huh? Yeah, man, you're online here. Tomorrow. No jump. No jump, I swear, no jump.
Uber. Not gone anywhere. Just have to be careful. Yeah, record the paper. That's what you know. How big is here? There's no mark there.
Official, well done, sir. Official, I did well.
I'm telling you, right? No, record that job. I couldn't see mark.
Well done, sir. No jump. No jump. No jump. No jump.
Understand?
So, well done, bro. Olu, ignore that man. Make Olu go to Sotayo. Don't worry yourself. Ignore him, I beg. Woo! Jones. I forgot. I think I'm giving you guys a better view from here. What is that? Oh, this is CCO. 681. That boy is shooting 6575. I'm moving on to this course. I'm moving this course, women. Fine now. Wow. 7008. 70
for a track meet. Yeah, you know, and it's like I'll go to Europe and camera would have definitely worked. My body would have been different, unless it won't be a little bit longer. But yeah, and the funny thing is like a lot of my girls now just have this. It's like yesterday.
Hmm? No, I got to run up. One jump is going on. You know the Basi from Cross River. No jump. Sorry, I blocked What to do? Put lion behind them. Don't put lion behind them. they will give what you want. Just bring lion. Just read the lion behind them. They give one record and just to make you happy. 1 person has done 755. 1 person has done 755. JJ from Ekiti. No, if you don't have spring. You don't have spring. No thought, it's spring. Spring. You have the spring. That's it. Jump 740 meter. $697. No drum. Tena bwana fikiri bwana. Why are they running up and down like rabbits? What kind of nonsense is this?
Well, and let me give you the history of Olympic Games when it comes to long jump, right? It is very difficult for you to see a favorite winning the Olympic Games, right? If you are, I've not seen any jumper that's consistent in that event and winning Olympic Games apart from Carl Lewis, because Carl Lewis was way ahead of every other person. But if you go back to memory lane, even the women long jump, example, Choma Ajuwan came 7-1 to our first jump. That sealed it. If you go back to Aki Dressler, if you go, long jump, Okagbari, yes, she jumped, she was third on her first jump. So the same thing is possible for Esebrume. Esebrume, she's consistent around 7-8, 6-8, 6-9, and that's all you need. All you just need to jump one fluke jump, 7-2, 7-3. It's gone. It is sealed. We're just praying that on that day, that's what you call peak when it counts. I hope that day she will peak when it counts, and that's the Olympic day final. Just take that jump, and that's it, and that will just seal it. But she can do it.
All right, so finally, before we let you go now, you now work with Team Nigeria, athletes in totality, the marathon, the sprint, and the field now. Going into Tokyo Games, we've not won an individual medal since 2008. Not looking good for Nigeria, it must be said now. But we've got some decent favourites. We saw Okagbari blitz to win this 10-6-3 2 days ago. Tobi Amusan, sadly, we didn't get the time, but she's one of the favourites in the women's hurdles. There's also Divine and Ekevo, Raymond Ekevo, who didn't come through again. Maybe you have to put your money and give Nigerians hope going into Tokyo in athletics. Give us 2 or 3 names that you're certain that can get a medal. That's what we hope for. We're not even looking at gold now.
Okay, let me give you 3 names. And I bet you I won't be too wrong. I'll give you 100 meters hurdles, women, Toby. I'll give you Blessing Okagbari, and I'll give you the girl in the hammer.
That's Annette Achiko-Woke.
Yes, in the hammer.
Your money's not Divine.
I don't. The men 100 meters is still open, and because I didn't see Divine lately, but those 3, John. You're going to call me way back in August and tell me, well, out of these 3, 2 you were correct.
The women's 100 meters final is on the 31st of July 2021. That's just about a month and some couple of days to go now. We've seen some great athletes: Shakari Richardson, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Marie-Jose Talu. Shelly-Ann has run 10.63 this year. That is the defending Olympic champion. Elaine Thompson in the mix too again. Can Blexing, there's also Dinasha Smith. Can Blessing ruffle shoulders with these girls on a day?
Of course, I will tell you that it is possible. If you look at Blessings, right, in previous Olympic Games, going back even to London 2012, she ran very well in the semi-final. But because semi-final and 100 meters are like an hour and a half, 2 hours between, then our 200 meters wasn't that good. Because that takes you the recovery period between the semi-final and final. Now she's very good at the 200 meters. That means her recovery time will be very good. Once she can recover very well from the semi-final, I bet you she'll get a medal. That's what has been happening to her. That recovery period between the semi-final and final. That 1.5 to 2 hours period. And I bet you her 200 meters is good now. That recovery period will be there, and she will do well in the final.
Your thoughts on the 10.63 seconds she ran 2 days ago?
That was blazing. That was fantastic. If you saw that race, that shows that Blessing is different from what she used to be. The coaching aspect is different. The last phase of event, that's what counts in 100 meters. The last 40 meters, all the runners will decelerate. But guess what? It is who decelerates the least that will win the race. Everybody will decelerate. But it is who decelerates the least that will win the race. Our last 40 meters now is blazing. And that's why I'm tipping her for a medal in the Olympic Games in 100 meters.
All right, so thank you very much, Yusuf Ali, for joining us. I could go on and on for another 1 hour, but this was brilliant from you. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll see your record get broken here.
I'll be so glad.
All right, now have a great day. All right, so that was Yusuf Ali giving us the technicalities of the men's long jump as the final still continues. Ine Emmanuel, Afoke Simon, Joseph Ayisade are all in this final. Let's see who picks that ticket to Tokyo and who wins or becomes the national champion. Chris is still here with me now. Chris, it was really interesting conversing with Yusuf Ali, breaking down some of the technicalities of the men's long jump. He talked about having a routine of training for the approach 300 times in a week. And he says we don't see some of this again happen to our local athletes. And he was competing as a local-based athlete. Just spirally he goes abroad to compete so again. But, it's looking sad. Another mark from Okoro Hope and 6.99. I'm trying not to be cynical here, but even Esther Bruman jumps farther than this, and she competes in the women's long jump.
Are you trying to compare Esther Bruman to these guys? But I'm sure Yusuf pointed out a whole lot of things that are wrong and why, we have not seen good performances from these athletes. Yusuf Ali, on his day, was a regular 8 meters jumper, all right? He jumped 8 meters many times, and seeing people struggle to meet it. I know he would improve on his 4th jump.
Well, pardon us for the technical issues. We're back in a bit as we try to get back and finish the men's long jump final. We're bringing you the best, certainly right here from Making of Champions. Wherever you are in Nigeria, you can't make it to the sports complex of the Yaba College of Technology. You can get the live coverage from all our platforms on a website, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. The race videos, both happening on the track, on the field. All right, we've got another big fish joining us now. Is the men's national champion in the 100 meters. A personal best, an Olympic qualifying time, 10.00. Well, when this clock stopped, I was here and I saw 9.97. I was like, this has to be the first person to run inside 10 seconds in Nigeria for over 10 years. But boy, oh boy, he will still take it as long as he gets in that plane to Tokyo. Well, joining us in the country is Enoch Adegoke. First of all, congratulations on your win.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, Enoch, how impressed were you by your performance? You finished second in 2019 at the National Championships in Kaduna, losing to Sherishe Shekiri, but this year it's been flawless for you. Win upon wins from the AFN evaluation meet to the Making of Champions Grand Prix, although you lost that to Ferdinando Moyala. But, I mean, in terms of competing locally against the home-based athletes, you've been good. Well, I mean, we had the likes of Shaya come through and you were unperturbed, winning that in 10.00. Do you feel you could have gone lower or you were okay with the time?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to appreciate God for the achievements. And, well, it's been an awesome ride from the start of the year, winning every major competitions and aside the emotion anyways. And I really appreciate God, even though there have been ups and downs, but then God actually proved himself. And coming to the national trials, I knew I had something to eat. The Olympic qualification is at stake. And, my training sessions have been good and I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to go.
Well, still talking about that day, in the semis, that was your first race. 10.05 popped up and you thought you had punched your ticket, but it got rounded up to 10.06. I mean, you felt pressured to do something in the final or you still kept your nerves and won it in the final?
Well, I was actually expecting the qualification time to drop in my heats, in my semis, because I was ready for it. But then when I was told it was 10.0, I was like, okay, I can still go better. I can still go further than that. So going to the finals, I wasn't pressured about running the standard again. The only thing on my mind was just to win, because I know if I can win, the standard will drop. And even I just knew within me that I would run more than the 10.06. So I wasn't really sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, let me say, I think I settled that with my prayers already. I really pray to God the win should be favorable, and I really thank God it was just like that.
Well, your first international competition for Nigeria was at the Commonwealth Games. Well, and got to the final. Now going into Tokyo, I mean, what are you expecting, and what should Nigerians be expecting from you?
It is the biggest stage in the world of sports, and well, what Nigeria should be expecting. Well, I will put in my best and trust God for the best. And I believe something spectacular is going to happen in Tokyo.
Well, you will compete against the very best in the world. Trevor Bummel, Akane Simbine, the African champion in that event. Maybe a Justin Gatlin. We wouldn't be seeing a Coleman too again. How prepared are you towards facing the very best in the world?
Well, I think the next thing for me right now is just to, after this competition, to go back, put more effort in my training, and I think psychologically I need to get myself prepared for the biggest stage.
All right, finally, the African record in the 100 meters is held by a Nigerian, Olusoji Fashuba. Akani Simbine has been on the brink and he hasn't broken it yet. Do you want to do it before him? Or, whoever does it, you don't mind, as long as it's still an African record?
Well, let's watch out.
There you have it. He says we should watch out. Watch out. Tokyo 2020 in 2021. And Enoch is ready. You saw him compete. You can go relive those moments on our social media platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram at Making of Champs. How we blitzed to a 10.00 personal best and qualifying for the Olympics now. Well, the long jump men's final is still ongoing. Oluwayeni Blessing, Ofoke Simon, Ine Emmanuel, Meyiwa, they are all still competing. Let's see who eventually would clinch it. We had Yusuf Ali here talking to us about how these athletes have not really lived up to expectation in terms of their practice. A lot of red flags are there, not looking at the board, and the approach hasn't been so great, and it's something you need to master, certainly. Well, let's see if Oluwayeni Blessing has something else. Well, he runs through it, and it's another red flag once again. Chris, I don't want to say this is becoming unbecoming. So many red flags, and it's almost like they didn't practice for this, going into a big event like national championships.
I wouldn't say they didn't practice for it. Like I explained, I think the main problem is that they are not seeing that ball clearly. All right, so the people who eventually get their takeoff right end up not getting good leaps, and they might just come up with the 6 meters we were talking about. If they got to the board very well, they would have improved massively, and that's why we've seen so much red flags. The board, Meyiwa complained about the board. They had to change it before today, just so they can help these guys, at least attain some good qualification marks. I think that's Meyiwa coming up for another jump.
Well, after missing his first attempt, Meyiwa is next up again for his fourth attempt now. While we're bringing you those interviews with Yusuf Ali as well as Enoch Adegoke, he came through with a good jump in his third attempt. I'll bring you the results now. Meyiwa leaping to a very good distance. Well, let's see how he approaches the board this time around. Well, he takes it, and well, from what I could see here, he went over the board, and it's certainly going to be a red flag. Let's get the confirmation of that one for you, and it's a red flag for Ine Meyiwa there. Another attempt gone by. He has to be on the edge now, knowing he's got just 1 or 2 attempts to go to seal that victory. He flew all the way from the United States, and he wouldn't want to leave here without that national crown. It would be a tad disappointing now, but he's competing against some of the home-based lads, and it doesn't matter. That's why it's national trials. You talked about the Mobile trials 10 years ago, where Mobile was sponsoring it, and the very best from abroad on home soil meet, and it doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you give your best on the day, and that's what matters. And maybe Meyiwa is having to figure out that it doesn't matter me having to compete in the United States. Someone here in Nigeria can beat me.
Absolutely, anyone could beat him. He was competing in Nigeria before he left for the United States 2 years ago, so it is not a reserved spot for anyone because you've been abroad and you come back and you would immediately win. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to earn it. If you're the best on the day, you get it. If you aren't, someone who is would get it. But I feel for those athletes, this red flags is going to really affect them. I don't know how they are going to overcome this challenge of too many red flags in their jumps. Some of them have not even gotten any legal jump out of 3 attempts. So if he continues like this, it's actually quite disastrous, for them not ending up with legal jumps. But action is actually also happening across the field, where Chioma Onyekwere is currently competing in the women's discus. There are so many people there to cheer her friends. Chukwuebuka Enekwechi is there, some of their coaches from abroad. There's also the Nigerian throws coach, Gabriel Ukwana. There is Annette Echikunwoke, who competed much earlier in the women's hammer throws. They are all there, trying to cheer Chioma. But at the moment, I think it's Esther Osisike who is about to take an attempt in the women's discus.
Well, I was going to talk about that. The camaraderie amongst these throwers, from Sade to Chioma to Annette joining them now, Chikwebuka also in the mix too again. It's something we want to see in Team Nigerian's camp. Proud to wish starting our coverage. We saw the warm-up for the relays too again, the men's 4x4. We'll bring that to you, by the way, tomorrow. All you need to know about Nigeria's potential qualifying for the Olympics there. It's looking good. Not the stories of them having to fight in camp, athletes having a bit of discord too again. I think that certainly improves their prospects in terms of having good marks and also qualifying in the relays.
Absolutely. You talked about the camaraderie these athletes have. What is working for them is that, they understand that they are representing one flag. They come to compete. They know that they are competing for Nigeria. They are happy doing so. It is something that we love to see. Chukwuebuka was saying the other day that he knows he has qualified for the Olympics, that he's not coming back to Nigeria to compete because he wants to win the national title that he could win, but because he wants to come and to see good friends. He wants to come to compete with his friends. All of them flew together from the States. They came back to compete here on home soil. Most of them, this is the first time they are competing in Nigeria for the first time. Some of them were not born here. Sade Olatoye was not born in Nigeria. Annette was not born in Nigeria. But they are back. They know what it means to be representing Nigeria, and it is something that they really do appreciate, and we should be happy that these athletes are bonding together as a team.
Well, there you have it from Chris. The field athletes, yes, that's why it's called track and field. Them doing well for Nigeria. Most of them were born in the United States, but to Nigerian parents, and what's important is that they are representing Nigeria in their various events. Well, Ume Emmanuel just had his own fourth attempt, and he recorded a mark of 5.92 meters. Boy, oh boy, and not the best. You can see there on your screens now. Chris talked about Chioma Onyekwere in the women's discus. We'll bring to you the live results as it's happening right here in the coverage of this 2021 National Athletics Trials. Well, it's the Olympic trials to as athletes are looking to punch their tickets to Tokyo and get on that plane. There are still many seats left, and once it's June 29, the doors will be closed. And for Nigeria, we know we've got a storied history when it comes to competing at the Olympics. In athletics, to be more specific, 13 medals we've won in athletics, and that's big. That's the most of any federation in Nigeria, it must be said, and that's why our attention are fixated on this national trials, because it's very crucial for them and for every single Nigerian, knowing full well that we could potentially win medals there. You saw Yusuf Ali call it. He says he can guarantee 3 medals for Nigeria. In the women's hurdles, Blessing Okagbare also winning a medal in the 100 meters or the 200 meters, and as well as Annette Achikuwoke also winning getting a medal in the women's amateur. Chris, I've been holding this, but I have to put you on the spot in terms of the Nigerians that can medal going into Tokyo. I won a medal or an individual medal since 2008. Blessing Okagbare. We did medal at the London Games in 2012. We did medal at the Rio Games in 2016. But we've got some favorites. Are you calling it, or you still feel we're not ready yet?
I think we are ready, or let me rephrase. I think Nigeria is going to win the medal not because we are ready, like someone hinted, but because we have some talented athletes who, on their own, are going to carry the hopes of the nation. All right. We mentioned Annette Echikunwoke, who has a personal best, which is also an African record of 75.49 meters in the women's hammer. We have Tobi Amusan, who came very close to winning the medal in the women's 100 meters hurdles at the 2019 World Championships in Doha. She was very unhappy after missing out on the podium by 1/100th of a second. So she is, I've mentioned two, Annette, Tobi Amusan. Then we have the world leader in the women's long jump, Ese Brume 770 meters. If she jumps that, by the way, Chioma Ajunwa won the gold medal in 1996 with 7.12 meters. Malaika Miham, but the German, has a PB of 730 meters. But if it doesn't go right for Malaika and Ese Brume gets a distance over 7 meters, she is definitely a huge medal contender for Nigeria. That's 3. All right. Now, the 4th person, Blessing Okabare, she's been flying this season. We've seen her run 10.90 this season. We've seen her run 10.63 seconds here in Lagos, even though it's not legal. But, from people who understand the sport, they said 10.63 seconds with a wind of 2.7. When you compute all this together, it could translate to 10.75 or 10.76 seconds, which could have been an African record. And on a good day, that is a medal winning time. All right, so that's 4. And if we get our acts together in the relay, see, there is no Olympics that we've won an individual medal that we don't end up winning a medal in the relay. So if we get our acts right in the relays, we should be able to challenge for medals in the women's 4x100 meters and also the mixed relay. Bahrain won a mixed relay medal at the World Championships in Doha. All right, so we have very strong quartet that can win a medal for us. We have Favor Ofili, Nse Emma, but we don't know what shape she is in at the moment. We understand that she's injured. We have Chidi Okezie. We have our very own Emmanuel Ojeli. Those 4, if we put them together, we have about 1 month. First of all, let's even secure qualification, all right? So if we secure qualification in the mixed 4x400 meters, that is one event that we can actually win a medal in.
Well, Chris stuck his neck out, and I have a feeling he's really rooting for Ese Brume. I know he's a huge favorite of the lady there, and she's proved the worth, winning or breaking Chioma Ajunwa's long-standing 25-year-old record. She's won the Commonwealth gold. She's won the African Games gold. She's won the African Championship gold, and she's won a medal at the World Championships. That was bronze in Doha. What's left in medal laurel is certainly the Olympic medal. In Rio, she was within whiskers. She finished 5th then. Boy, oh boy, nobody wants that. But 5 years down the line, and she still remains one of the favorites to go to the Olympics and win a medal for Nigeria. We certainly wish her all the best there. Well, still to come. We've got the triple jump women's final, the 800 meters women final, and the men's 10,000 meters final. All this we bring to you live on Making of Champions Facebook, as we give you the live coverage of this 2021 National Athletics Trials. But we've got a big one coming up tomorrow, the relays. We'll bring you some clips and action pictures from the relays as the athletes prepped up earlier this morning for the events tomorrow. It's an invitational. Some countries are here in Nigeria to help Nigeria secure qualification. Well, for your information, at least one nation had to be in participation for any mark to be set. And for Nigeria, just our women's 4x100 meters team currently are in a standing position to qualify for the Olympics, as they are currently ranked 16th now, after missing out at the World Relays. We'll talk about that in a bit now. Celeste Poland on the 1st or 2nd of May. We saw South Africa winning the men's 4x100 meters. They are in Tokyo already. Also, the Ghanaian team are also in Tokyo already in the same 4x100 meters men. But Nigeria, we've got a storied history from the 04 games in Athens, where the likes of Olusoji Fasuba, Deji Aliu, all won medals for Nigeria in the men's 4x100 meters. A bronze medal to be more specific. How about taking you back to Sydney? In fact, the relays have won 8 medals for Nigeria at the Olympics before. And we're building up towards tomorrow, where we want to qualify. That's first what we need to do. But Chris, let's just give viewers an hint of what to expect going into tomorrow in terms of the relays. It's a big one. We haven't hit the qualifying mark in the 4x4 for men and women, as well as the 4x1 for the men. Just the women too again. But we've got some fine athletes. Favor Ofili flew from the United States just to help the women also be in a decent standing. We saw the 400 meters women final yesterday. Nse Umaobong, Patience Okon George. Knowledge Omovo ran a PB yesterday. She's also joined in the relays too again. That's Yinka Ajayi, came through from the United States. same for the men too again. The question now remains, can they form a good team to finally punch a ticket to Tokyo?
Well, certainly they can. Favour Ofili has been competing for her school in the United States in the women's 4x100 meters. So she's going to be the fourth leg drafted in to compete for Nigeria in the women's 4x100 meters. They are in the qualifying position at the moment. They have, this is in the front, 43.06 seconds in the United States. But, you know, they are still in a qualifying position as the 16th ranked team. Australia ran 43.19 seconds. We have to run under 43 seconds to be very sure, all right? We have the best legs around. We have Blessing Okabare around. We have Rosemary Chukuma also around. We have Grace Mukocha, Favour Ofili. This quartet are going to run the women's 4x100 meters. And if they get the baton right, they are absolutely going to run under 43 seconds. Talking about the women's 4x400 meters, they need to run as fast as 3 minutes 28 seconds, you know, to be within a qualifying position. I heard Nse saying yesterday that they can actually do it. She thinks they can do it. I have confidence that they can do it. Knowledge running a PB of 52.24 seconds is a good leg to bring in, you understand. And I should tell you that I saw Sydney Siame, Zambia, with the Zambian team doing some training earlier today. So we have the Zambian team confirmed and they are on ground in Lagos and they'll be competing, you know, in the relays as well. They are also chasing qualification. They think they can do it. So it's a good thing for us to have these countries come around. I'm hoping and I'm trusting that we're going to have our best tomorrow. But let me quickly talk about the men's 4x100 meters. They need to run as fast as the Nigerian national record of 37.91 seconds, I think, to be sure of earning a spot. 37.91 seconds, actually, yes. They have to run as fast as that to be sure that they can get a place out of the 4 available for Tokyo.
Well, that's a long shot. Certainly it's a long shot too again. Well, the long jump final is still going on strong now. Joseph just had his jump and it's a legal one. We'll come through the mark for you. For the last 45 minutes now, that's what we've been witnessing. The women's discus, also with Chioma Onyekwere infield, also competing there, trying to master their technique. Yesterday, the men's high jump, saw Mike Edwards win a national title for himself, getting the title of Chioma, getting the title of Best Eyire, who finished second yesterday. Well, we'll bring to you more live actions from the relays tomorrow. Well, meantime, Tobechukwu Nwokocha is up next with the men's long jump. Well, it's a legal one. It's a legal one. We'll wait and see what exact mark it leaves. As some of the fans cheers him on. This is his 5th attempt from Tobechukwu Nwokocha. Well, for Ini Meyiwa, he's also one of the favorites there to win this one. 7.27 meters from Tobechukwu Nwokocha. Well, he's getting there. He's getting there. Better than nothing. Ofoke Simon, who currently is second in the men's long jump. He's leaped 7.55 meters this year. Well, the crowd begins their applaud now, cheering him on. Ofoke Simon is on the runway now. We'll come through with that for you in a bit. Well, it's a red flag. It's a red flag for Ofoke Simon. We've seen that more times than the whites. But a bit of positive there is the fact that, you could have 5 red flags and just one good jump is all it takes. One good jump is all it takes. And you're home and dry. And you become the national champion here. But it seems like nobody wants to take it. It's a final that nobody wants to win. Somebody has to win. A champion has to emerge. That's for sure. Let's see what happens there. Boy, oh boy, we've seen some interesting performances today. Let's run through some of them for you if you've missed out on anything. About 2 hours now from our coverage, and we've witnessed the men and women's 400-meter hurdles final. Well, Emmanuel Meyiwa is up next now and is on the runway with his 5th attempt. Let's see what he comes up with for himself. He's representing Delta State. Meyiwa Emmanuel. Well, he takes a leap, and we're waiting for the exact mark now from him. You can see it right there on your screens. He shakes his head and he's not really impressed with that. 7.60 meters. Not so impressive, but he will take it. He will take it. A lot of improvements certainly still to come. It's a big room. It's a big room. That's what they call a room for improvement there. 7.60 meters from Meyiwa Emmanuel. But Chris, it's a championship that we've seen the good and the bad. And for Nigerian athletes, especially the ones on the track now, we talked about Tobi Amusa being disappointed too again. But in terms of the wind and how this Yabatek track is looking at a good hunting ground for chasing records, national records, African records, potentially an Olympic qualifying spot to again. Don't you think it's one that the AFN should be looking at in terms of selecting the perfect venue for these athletes to meet outside this period? Because it seems we're leaving it too late.
Not really, and I also have to give credit to Making of Champions, because it was the competition that Making of Champions had here in April, that in March, on March 30th, that really drew the attention to Yabatek. Grace Mokocha secured qualification for the Olympics, running here, going to the National Sports Festival relaxed, not having to worry whether she was going to secure qualification there. One of the factors limiting Yabatek from being the adopted home for athletics in Nigeria is because it doesn't have enough stand for fans, and also some of the events are not there is no run I should say there is no warm-up track here at Yabatek. That's one of the reasons these competitions have not been taking place regularly here, but they've been having the junior competitions over the years here. And Raymond Ekiva ran his first personal best of 10:37 seconds here as far back as 2016, before going for the World Junior Championships in Bydgoszcz in 2016. So this is a very good place to run good times. This is a very good place, to qualify. The atmosphere helps, but the facilities is not sufficient. I understand. Today, we saw them bringing in the barrier to barricade the pits, the place where they do the discus through, the hammer through, because it would have been a disastrous outing if someone ends up getting injured because there are no barricades. So these are the things you have to consider. These are the factors, that are limiting Yabatek from being the official adopted home for athletics in Nigeria.
Well, there you have it. The stadium certainly has gone global after that amazing performance from Blessing Okagbare, running a wind-aided 10.63 seconds to win the women's 100 meters 2 days ago. But let's draw attention to some of the results from today. If you missed out on the action, hey, not to fret, not to worry. We'll bring all the videos to you later today. In our review stories, videos on our social media platforms on facebook.com/Making of Champs, on Twitter at Making of Champs, on Instagram at Making of Champs. You can also go on our YouTube page. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, watch all the live content there that we've created for you since the start of this national championship, as it were. Now, we'd look to see if we could get someone to come through and talk about the event, certainly, as it were. But most importantly, it's the national championships for 2021. It's big. It could be better, no doubt about that. And that's why we are here to bring you all of this action. And don't miss out on any single thing. Write-ups, pictures, and videos. Well, the men's long jump is still going on strong now. Like we talked about, the men and women's 400-meter hurdles took place earlier in the day, some couple of minutes back, just about 1 hour ago. We had the champion in the men's 400-meter hurdles, Timothy M. Morgan, coming through and talking to us about how he felt running inside 50 seconds for the first time in his career to win the title for the Upton time in his career. It's now having to compete and running times similar to what we can see in the world stage. The likes of Kieran McMaster, the likes of Caster Volum, the world champion and European champion, the likes of Abdulrahman Samba, also winning or competing favorably at the world stage. Maybe he can get there. He's really optimistic about doing such things. Well, we're still back here at the sports complex of the Yaba College of Technology. And the men's long jump final is still going on strong now. Okoro Hope, Joseph Esasede, all competing. Ine Meyiwa also competing too in the final of the men's long jump. All right. We'll bring to you the final results, same as the women's discus throw. And like I said, still to come, the women's 800 meters final. That's one big one that we'll be looking out for, certainly, later this evening. Let's not also forget that we've got the 10,000 meters final for men, looking really big there. All right, let's go for a very short break. When we come back, we'll give you the full results of the men's long jump, and after that, the results for the women's discus.